Here we go, baby. I'm back at it again, man. I haven't done one of these in a while, but it was surely to come one way or another. And welcome to another Mad Rant, which I haven't done in a long time, which I'm very kind of excited to talk about. Now, the Mad Rant of today is pretty much something that's been going constantly over and over again inside the RWBY community. Something that's just, to me, it just seems kind of childish and kind of ignorant in a way. But I have to also consider things on their side as well. So what I'm talking about is Volume 5's complaints. Okay, so far as we know, this volume is a world-building, character-driven volume. The characters just got through their experience of going at things their own way from Volume 4, and now they're reuniting, setting up through the plot sequences that will lie ahead in the distant future. So, as we all know, a big battle is going to happen at Haven Academy, thanks to Salem and Adam. However, and people are excited about that, but however, people are complaining about one thing within this volume, is they're just sitting around, standing, talking. I understand when RWBY first came out, a lot of people came to the show for the fight scenes. The fight scenes were beautiful, well choreographed, all that good stuff. People enjoy the fight scenes of RWBY, and that's thanks to Monty Owen, who has done works such as Dead Fantasy, which is still one of my favorite YouTube videos to watch to this day. But however, Monty died after Volume 2 and left through 3 through 5 to continue on with Rooster Teeth. However, Monty did write down his stuff and how he wanted things to go. We don't know if Rooster Teeth alternated some stuff that Monty wrote. We don't know. They could have not. We can't judge that on them just because we don't like the way the show is going. Through Volume 1 to 3, they were mostly at Beacon, training, fighting Grim, fighting Roman, and now Sinner came to play, plotting out her evil plan that caused the whole entire Beacon to fall down, which was very sad. We lost some friends and enemies, and RWBY learned to grow as a character. Turning into Volume 2, where they go out in the vast world of Remnants, where things are completely different than it is inside of Beacon. They're not being sheltered or guided in some way, and they have to pick their battles wisely, for each wrong step could cost them their lives. So it's all about the experience as well. You're no longer under the constant shelter of Beacon Academy. So, going into this, reading some forums I have found on a user's blog, people are complaining about the lack of fight scenes within Volume 5. It's just talking and people are getting really uninterested in it. And I guess majority of people who are uninterested in it are those who go to a show for one thing, the fights, which is understandable because that's the point of it. But however, RWBY is more than just an action show. In fact, this has been done in tons of shows throughout history. Tons of shows with action and plot sequences. There are always those volumes within almost every show where it's just talking. They're setting up to the big event that's soon to come, and they just can't be fighting every time. Now, I do understand they were doing a number display on which volume had the most fight scenes, and according to them, the one that had the most fight scenes was Volume 3. A lot of fight scenes happen in Volume 3 because they're going through a festival of fighting. So of course that will be more fighting. That is understandable. Look, there's this old saying, quality over quantity. Sure, they can stuff a bunch of fights in Volume 5, but they gotta have meaning and importance. That's the point of all the RWBY fights. They're not just there for us to enjoy, and yet they're there for us to enjoy, but not just that. They gotta have some type of vital importance and reason to happen. You can't say, oh, I'm bored of the series. Throw in some fight scenes, but why? They're trying to create a strategy. They can't just jump in and start fighting. They're right now in Haven Academy, and they're trying to create a strategy to help out Haven. So the question is how can you create a fight scene out of that when they're just trying to get back together and find reinforcements to help them in the fight against Adam and the White Fang that's soon to come? And a lot of people don't understand that, and it's kind of a shame in a way. You know, they're like, they'll just be pleased to have a fight scene inside the show, which is understandable, but you also gotta understand that they just can't do that. You gotta have a reason for the fight scene, okay? It's like, okay, Right now, let's look at their situations right now. Blake is trying to get people to help out Haven Academy. No one's agreeing to it. Blake is trying to make a change. You have to understand that they're in the middle of war. In the middle of war, it's not just about guns and bombs and fighting. The majority of main focus point on war is negotiations, treaties. War is when you have more than one nations or sides inside of disagreements and indifferences. That's what a war is, and a lot of people don't understand that. So war may have a lot of shooting and bloodshed and loss of men, but however, the main focus of war is not about that. The main focus of war is during its calm points, where people are sitting at a table discussing their differences, trying to find a common ground. That's what war is, recruiting people, trying to find some way to get over this situation that they're in right now. For instance, majority of World War I, despite its big impact of called the Great War, it was mostly about people sitting at a table trying to solve some way to get over this predicament. And a lot of people just don't see that. And right now, the world of Redmond is at war. Blake is trying to recruit people. They're in a recruiting stage. You can say, hey everybody, we got a lot of people joining us. They're putting realism inside this fantasy world. Because despite the fantasy, there still has to be some point of realism in there. Now next on RWBY and Crow's side. Crow is trying to recruit people, but thanks to the actions of Salem and Cinder and Adam, there are not much people to recruit. So therefore, it is really hard for them to do that. Okay, so they can't just go in charging. What's there to fight? They're inside of a safe area. They can just go out there fighting. Fighting for what? They're right now in the process of training and trying to regroup as a strategy. So of course there's going to be a lot of talking in it. So the question is where's the room for the fighting? The room for the fighting is when the fighting needs to happen. I'd rather have to be less fights that will be more meaningful toward the story than a bunch of fights just to please the fans and not having any true progression whatsoever. There's no point of this. This might be heavily anime influenced, but it's not made by Japan, so therefore there's going to be reasons why they're not going to have fights for the sake of fighting. Okay? This is not a shonen show. It's an action, it's an adventure, but also has extreme use of politics and diversity in it. So that's what people just don't understand about the show of RWBY. Yes, I know it's going slow right now with some things. But however, it needs to be slow right now because this is the kind of arc it is right now. It is a world-building character depth arc right now. We're seeing the after effects of these characters after finding the resolve from Volume 4. As you see, they all found the resolve. Weiss learned to move on to herself that the corruption of her family is too deep, and she had to make true actions by going out there on her own. Yang moves over the fact of her loss of arm and traumatization of what Adam done to her, and also move on to the fact that what's most important to her is making sure her sister is safe. Blake finds out to stop running from her problems and take them head on, not through just fighting as she was doing for the first volumes, but also as taking it as a political side. That's where she had to regain and build back up the White Fang. RWBY learns that she also has to learn to be careful of her actions as well. The decisions she makes can get people hurt, but also learn that she is not the only one at fault. So, as you can all see, all these characters are moving on from what happened in Volume 4, and they're finally reuniting and building up reinforcements to the war ahead. So that's what people need to understand about RWBY. Yes, you came here for fight scenes, but the thing I've always told people when it comes to watching a show is, you can't just be for that show for one thing. Because if you are, you're going to have a really, really bad time with it. Because a lot of people come to a show because they like this certain couple, or they like this one character, or like this one aspect of the show. And sometimes people are telling them, you can't come to a show just liking that one thing, because that one thing could just disappear or stop happening, or even a lack of it will happen down the future. And that way, you'll start losing interest in the show, and then you don't care about it no more. You feel disappointed, you feel like you wasted your time. Don't go to a show liking only one thing about it. If you do, and then you're going to have a very disappointing time with it. You know, okay, you're here for RWBY reaction. However, RWBY is more than just action. They're writing a seriously in-depth story right here with a lot of world building that's going on. So you can't just have random fight scenes just to please yourself compared to actually not screwing over the story. So right now it seems like some fights is about to happen next episode. We don't know. I'm saying if it happens, it only happens unless it needs to happen. But remember, people, they're in war right now. And war is not always about fighting. It's about negotiations, treaties, strategy meetings. That is what war really is. So that's all I got for this video. Give that some deep thought. I'm not saying I am disregarding the way that people are saying things. I just say they're ignorant, but I did take that back. But just don't hop into a show only for one thing, or else you're just not going to be pleased with the show later down the road, because there will be more aspects onto that show. So give that a thought. I would really like to hear your thoughts in this video, and I also like for you guys to share it, because it seems like it's a major discussion right now within the community, and I would like to see how people think of my opinion about this. I'm not saying I'm right, I'm not saying I'm wrong, I'm saying this is how I feel about how RWBY is. Right now, I believe there shouldn't be fighting unless it needs to be fighting in the series. And right now, there doesn't need to be any fighting. I'm enjoying the series to seeing the characters grow as who they are, what they used to be. I'm enjoying the speeches. I'm enjoying how they're trying to create reinforcements and make groups to fight against Salem and her forces. That they just can't go in charging in by themselves, or else they're gonna be screwed over. So yeah, that's all I got for the video. I hope you guys enjoy it. Please share this video. I would be much obliged. I would like to see a lot of people's responses and opinions about this discussion right now, because as we all know, if something's not going well, Rooster Teeth might have to make some changes to how people are responding. I hope not. I hope they stick to the guns and continue the show the way it is. But then again, everyone else has to write their own opinion in this matter. So tell me what you guys think about this. And tell me how you feel. If the show is going too slow, or you just don't like all the talking, or you just want action for the sake of action. Let me know in the comments below. Anyways, if you like this video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I'll be much obliged. This is Madcrownxox, signing out.